Do we think Mo Salah should still be on penalties for Liverpool? Chloe blocks him.
No, I know you want to be top goal scorer, but it's not about individual awards at this moment in time. He's not, and I don't like left footers on penalties already. I've dealt with it for years.
Take your prejudice.
So sorry, I just don't like it as a right-footed person. And you know, he missed the one against Bournemouth. He missed the one before that. He's missed this one. He luckily gets the rebound, and actually where I was stood on the cop, I thought he'd missed it for a slight second. I'd nearly had a heart attack. Put McAllister or Szoboszlai on it and see how good they do, please.
I mean, I know the right is synonymous with prejudices, Chloe, but I didn't really think it was a literal what hand people most prefer to use as well. Like, I feel very uncomfortable all of a sudden, like I'm not welcome in my own studio.
Do people like left footers on penalties?
I think that's a common belief that I don't like left footers on penalties.
I don't like the run up either.
It's the goal is symmetrical. The goal is symmetrical. It's exactly the same whether a left footer takes them or a right footer.
Like it at all.
It is. Name the best penalty takers ever. No left footers.
Robbie Fowler was a great penalty taker. He was so good he could choose to miss.
Messi's pretty good.
Yeah, but he's
Messi's the best to ever.
Okay, so surely then the left footers are just better than right footers.
No, I wouldn't say Messi's the best penalty taker.
I mean, Messi's the best footballer of all time, and he's left footed.
Yeah.
Diego Maradona left footed.
Yeah. I'm with Chloe. I don't like him.
That's not about who's the best players.
Okay, cool. Sinisa Mihajlovic.
Is anyone in the comments here agreeing or disagreeing?
I don't know. I've been holding on to some. Let me just read these super chats out before I lose them. I've lost them. Brilliant.
It's absolutely Szoboszlai for pens, by the way. He gets the same corner every time and nails it in every time. It's him.
Yeah, I don't know about that personally.
Would you keep Salah on?
I think Errol made a great point on the instant match reaction. I think it was Errol on the instant match reaction about maybe someone coming in and hopefully getting one in the League Cup or the Europa League. I think it's a different ball game, right? If you take Salah off for someone who's never taken a pen for Liverpool mentally for what Salah can do, as opposed to some lad comes in and gets 2 penalties and scores them both, and then there's a conversation to be had about it. I think there's a lot to be gained from giving Salah goals and the confidence that he gets and moves forward into week in, week out in the open play.
He's a better footballer when he's got a goal.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think you can gain a hell of a lot from it. Like, listen, I'll be honest, I agree. I don't think he's a very good penalty taker. I don't. He doesn't hit the corners. When he hits the corners, he tries to knock them out.
He doesn't have a consistent technique.
He's got it in his own head because of Ben Foster, and Ben Foster putting it out there, wasn't it, on that podcast where he's like, he came up to me and was like, out of interest, which way would you have gone and all this type of stuff. So goalkeepers know that he's thinking about these types of things. He's in his own head. Goalkeepers are in his head. He needs to just go back to slotting the ball away and moving on with it. But ultimately, you know, I think it's in Liverpool's best interest, certainly at this stage of the season, to keep Salah getting goals.
Yeah, AC asked in the super chat, can we talk about Salah with penalties? I have little confidence now. It's getting worrying now. Maybe we can switch him out for Sobo or McAllister. I mean, again, the
better penalty takers are Granda. I'm not arguing that. Like, I'm really not.
Yeah, what do you reckon, Sam?
For me, I would be swapping him. I've never been a huge fan of Salah on penalties. I think he doesn't have that consistency of ball striking, quite frankly. He just looks to whack it. Yeah. But a lot of the time, the one he scored in the final was just a quick, if you touch this, you're going in with it, essentially, to the goalie, which is fine. That's all well and good, but it doesn't fill me with confidence, let's put it that way. Obviously blazed one over last year against Bournemouth. He misses the one against Arsenal, sends that wide, I think I'm right in saying. And then the one Saturday, it's a bad pen. That's just a poor penalty. Like, I've seen people trying to put, it's too close to the keeper. It's so savable for the keeper. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. I get the point about sort of filling in with confidence, but for me, if it was just a question of who's your best penalty taker, they should be on pens. It's not Mohamed Salah. It's Szoboszlai right now, and that's as simple as that.
If in a penalty shootout he steps up first, I am a little bit asking why. I'm sound with putting him in the list because he's an attacker and he's got the confidence and it's Mo Salah, he'll back himself, but I wouldn't put him first in my penalty shootout, and that first person in the penalty shootout should be the first person for me who takes pens on your football pitch. And also, like, once again, if a penalty is what decides the game and you've not got your best penalty taker on it, I'm asking you questions there.
81% conversion rate's pretty damn good when you've taken 30 odd penalties.
Well, I always felt stupid.
It's the same as Steven Gerrard's pretty much, isn't it? You know, we looked at it before and like, Jan Molby's is better. The problem I think you've got sometimes is scoring 5 out of 5 is great, but it's only 5, and there's not data out there on goalkeepers with 30 odd penalties and where you've gone and all that type of stuff. So it actually weirdly becomes much harder the more penalties you take. a football team, because goalkeepers have just got more information about you.
Yeah. Stuart Armstrong's saying there, from fact, Sobbo was taking 15 pens, only missed one. You know, it's... I agree with it. At least it's a known entity. You know, not just that Salah has a pretty good conversion rate, but as I say, it's all the things that you get the benefits of him. The relaxation he seems to feel in his game once he's off and running. It's just that point of... I think now that Erling Haaland exists, I don't think anyone else can win the Golden Boot. Yeah. So it's one of them where just let someone else who's going to be more likely to win a game of footy for us take it. But there's no guarantee that McAllister and Szoboszlai are that, because you're right, it's different taking a penalty for Liverpool than it is taking a penalty for whatever levels you've been at, which might sound ludicrous. I'm sure someone will point to like a big Argentina one for McAllister or something that I've totally overlooked here, or, you know, as captain of Hungary or whatever. But you're taking the pens off Mo Salah. You're not just playing against the goalie and the crowd and everything. You've taken the pens off Mo Salah, who's going to be sat there going, "Go on then, dickhead. Go and stick that away. You're taking my pens, have you? Go on then. Go on."
If it was in the 89th minute, you were drawing 1-1 and we won a penalty, who would you want on it? Salah still?
Yeah, I think I would, because
if it's a game-winning opportunity, if this is literally the difference between winning a game and losing a game, I want my best penalty taken on. The best thing that can happen is Salah gets a rest, goes off on the 70th minute.
I don't think Chloe was asking me a question.
No,
then.
Sorry, I'll get back to it. The best.
I think I fell for that. I think it might have been rhetorical. What do you think?
Yeah. The best thing for Liverpool is Salah goes off in the 70th minute, we win a penalty, and it's between McAllister or Szoboszlai to take it, and we see what they're like, and then you've got the first one under the belt. But back to my question, if it was in the last minute of the game, who would you want stepping up?
Look, listen, if you're pure penalty takers, I understand it, I really do. I think you could do more harm than good for taking Salah off penalties.
So it's not actually about who's the best penalty taker, it's more about what it has an impact on thereafter for you in that case.
Listen,
because James Milner was always in this conversation, wasn't he, when he was at the club?
But he got faded out, and that's what happens, though, doesn't it? You don't take penalties off Gerrard, you don't take penalties off Salah, and invariably he ends up not in the team, and someone else starts taking them.
And that's a conversation that's easier to do. You know what I mean?
But if he misses another one, then you'd have to have that conversation and say, mate, you're shit at these, and you're going to keep missing them, because that was a bit. It was too close for comfort for me, that, because it was a terrible penalty, and he's had a few bad ones now, and I would be leaning towards moving someone else on them. He's probably in last chance saloon with it, because you're right, if it wasn't a pivotal, it was quite important moment of the game, obviously puts us in charge, doesn't it, for the first time, but I think the lads are too new at the football club right now for it. Their time will come. You know what I mean? They've hopefully got 3, 4, 5, 6 years at the footy club.
There's no need to make it a narrative around Salah not being good enough for something at this stage of the season, when he has just scored.
And not while the Saudi Arabian transfer market is open beyond ours. So wait until after that. Wait until their transfer window shuts, and then take Salah off all the things you want to take him off. We had some good comments in and around this. I'm just going to quickly track them down. Let anyone know. Let us know in the comment section underneath, who would you have as Liverpool's penalty taker?
What about if we just let them take a couple, right? Yeah, and then once everyone's forgot that Salah actually takes our penalties, we lob him back on them, so that they haven't done as much work on Mo Salah's penalties, and then you're up against goalkeepers that have been expecting a McAllister or expecting a Szoboszlai. I know you're changing and interchanging, but if you just say to Salah, "Hey lad, the next 5, we don't get a lot of penalties, so it'll probably be the next 1. You're not on this," but it's more just to put in the keeper's mind, they've got 3 people here who can step up for a penalty. What one are they going for? Yeah. Just to get in the keeper's mind a bit more.
He missed a target with 2 of the 3 he's missed. So the keepers, doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, do what you want.